I have been selling this book, Zan Azli and Wan Chun Hong's Guide to Indie Filmmaking, which is published by MPH. For a while now. It's a really good book if you want to be a filmmaker, whether it's for YouTube, social media, TV, film, cinema, whatever. This is the book to get. I'm going to make it more accessible and more affordable to all of you because I believe that everybody needs to become a filmmaker. The more filmmakers we have in the world, I think this world will be a better place to live in. Now it's available as an electronic book download on my website. I'm going to link it here. It's really cheap, it's really affordable. It's only 5 ringgit if you want to get the ebook version. Okay, 5 ringgit. It doesn't really cost much, right? It's just a little bit of something for me. I mean, it did take a lot of work to write. Each chapter of this book talks about one part of the filmmaking process. And for each chapter as well, I interview a local filmmaker. It's only 5 ringgit. It's only 5 ringgit. Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera. Anda sedang menonton dan mendengar The Fat Bidin Film Club dan saya anggap diri saya adalah Zan Azli.
Dan saya Syaril Bustawan.
Dan seperti biasa, setiap minggu kami menonton filem tempatan dari Malaysia dan kami mengulas tentang filem tersebut. Dan minggu ini kami mengulas filem yang ditayangkan dalam Festival Filem Malaysia.
Yeah.
Ya, betul ke? MIFF
Yes.
Malaysian International Film Festival. Dia lain daripada FFM, Festival Filem Malaysia, ataupun sama?
Lain kot.
Okey, tapi kita untuk minggu ini kami mengulas filem
The Code to Happiness.
The Code to Happiness.
Yeah, it's to happiness or for happiness. Something like that lah.
Okey, kami telah pun menonton The Code for Happiness dan saya tak tahu kenapa saya sedang berbahasa Malaysia. Mungkin sebab saya cuba mempertekankan bahawa saya adalah orang Melayu. Dan ramai orang di luar sana kata, kenapa orang Melayu ni selalu cakap Mat Saleh? Tapi sebenarnya saya boleh cakap Melayu.
Saya boleh cakap orang Melayu.
Saya boleh cakap orang Melayu. Yes.
I'm sure they believe you.
Ya, betul. Saya ya, betul. Saya boleh.
Yeah, okay. So the film.
Okay, kami okay. Sebelum kita mulakan, saya nak cakap lah, saya sebenarnya sejak mula tahun 2021 ni, saya rasa macam kurang semangat lah nak tengok filem. Cheryl macam mana? Rasa macam tu juga ke?
Biasa je sebenarnya.
Cheryl kalau nak cakap bahasa Inggeris boleh. Malah kalau Cheryl nak bahasa Cina pun boleh. Sebab saya pun faham bahasa Cina dan Cheryl pun boleh faham bahasa Cina. Kami betul-betul rakyat Malaysia.
You just like X'd out Sabah and Sarawak, but cool.
Oh, leh homo. Oh, boleh bakal kau. Ha.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry. Anyway.
Okay, ya, saya kurang semangat nak tengok filem. Cheryl, saya tak tahu kenapa, tapi macam semangat nak tengok filem, macam tak ada filem yang best, dan filem apa cinema wayang pun tutup. Entahlah. Semangat tu kurang sikit.
So how?
Entah. Online pun streaming filem-filem yang ada online pun macam alah, apa yang tak, bila dengar yang ada filem festival ni dekat Mubi pun, kita tak pun macam terus, okey jom tengok.
Because I nak tengok KLGU, tapi tak nak bagi.
Oh ya, betul. Okay, KLGU memang kita nak tengok, tapi macam takut. Saya takut nak tengok KLGU sebab mana tahu bila dah tengok, kalau tak best macam mana. Hampa. And then kalau best, kecewa. Kalau best, lepas tu tengok habis, lepas tu dah habis. Habis macam mana?
Hampa juga. And kecewa.
Tapi tak tahulah kenapa. Boleh naikkan semangat saya sikit tak?
No.
But you're my wife.
So?
You patut boleh naikkan semangat I.
Wow.
Pada push.
Okay, why don't I go sit down and then you call me when we're actually reviewing the film, okay? I got things to do. Okay,
cuba cerita sedikit tentang filem The Code to Happiness. Ya, adalah filem Mandarin.
It's either The Code to or for Happiness. It's a Chinese film I don't know. It's a film in the Chinese language. It's either Mandarin or Cantonese.
It straddles the dua bahasa tersebut. Yeah.
And the film is about a Chinese lady who has adopted an Indian girl, and about how difficult it is for her because the Indian girl speaks predominantly Mandarin because she's raised as a Chinese girl lah.
Betul.
And so it basically shows their relationship and their life, and it's all about her mother getting over a trauma that has happened to her. Yeah, so that's pretty much what the film is about.
Betul. Pengarahnya Mark Lee
Yeah, so the director is this guy named Mark Lee. I think this is his first feature film. I'm not too sure.
So saya tak pernah dengar nama tu. Minta maaf. Tapi saya tak pernah dengar pun kalau Mark
Lee. And it's produced by someone named Angela Chan.
Who is also the main actress
I think so. I'm not too sure so.
Okay, but maybe. Sebab saya tengok dalam list pelakon-pelakon nama dia pun ada juga.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe she is.
Minta maaf, kami kurang fasih dengan filem orang-orang yang terlibat dalam filem ni.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so we watched it, and so what did you think about the film?
Pendapat saya dulu sebelum pendapat Cheryl. Okay. Premis ceritanya mungkin kalau kita baca dan kita dengar tentang premis filmnya mungkin menarik lah. Sebab dia tentang seorang perempuan remaja yang dikatakan India, kan, tapi dibesarkan oleh ibu yang pada mulanya dibesarkan oleh ibu yang berbangsa Cina.
Ya.
Dan remaja perempuan ni apa nama dia? Peggy. Peggy dia fasih cakap Mandarin, fasih cakap Cantonese. Bila cakap English pun pelat dia macam orang Cina, kan? Dan kita tengok dia single mother yang membesarkan dia. So premis dia macam menarik. Tapi sebenarnya bagi saya kalau kita tengok filem ni, dia tak lain, tak beza daripada filem-filem yang keluar bila dekat-dekat musim perayaan Tahun Baru Cina. Kan? Kan bila dekat perayaan Tahun Baru Cina, kita tengok kat Malaysia ni produksi bahasa Cina, filem-filem bahasa Cina yang keluar kat wayang banyak tiba-tiba kan. Yalah, Chinese New Year season kan, dia keluar all the Chinese movies, which is normal, memang agak biasa. Tapi kebanyakan filem-filem ni saya rasa macam dikeluarkan seperti macam
formula
factory.
template.
Dia macam kilang tau dikeluarkan. Dekat Tahun Baru Cina, okey kita buat filem Cina.
It's just like TV3 dramas during Raya.
Macam tu.
The film that you play the night of puasa when you're getting ready for Raya, when you're folding your ketupat and everything. It's always that one film about that city kid, ada budak kampung pergi KL. Lepas tu dah tak ingatkan mak dia, sibuk dengan kerja, sibuk dengan clubbing. Lepas tu mak dia tengah sakit, tapi mak dia tak cakap dengan dia. Lepas tu dia balik kampung, mak dia dah meninggal. Lepas tu dia berdiri dekat situ, dia menangis. Maafkan
Betul. Dan saya sangat teruja kerana dengan berbahasa Malaysia macam ni, saya telah mempengaruhi Cheryl untuk berbahasa Malaysia juga. Dia pun dah cakap Melayu. Tadi cuba rewind balik video dia cakap Melayu tadi.
Because you're talking about the Raya drama.
But anyway, no, it's good. Yeah. So dan kebanyakan filem-filem ni saya rasa template, formula, agak macam production line, dan tak minat sebenarnya. Dia agak average dan nak cakap mediocre. Mediocre lah, kan, dan average filem-filem ni. So bagi saya filem ni pun diterbitkan macam tu. So cara olahan ceritanya, cara pengarahannya dan cara pelakonan bagi saya agak hambar. Dan saya tak begitu tertarik lah untuk menonton. Dia very average to me lah. The treatment of the film was very average. Cara skripnya pun ada karakter-karakternya yang okay lah. Mungkin karakter developmentnya agak menarik. That's a strength lah, ada sikit lah kan. Sebab saya suka cara benda yang saya suka. Okay, kita cakap benda yang suka bagaimana perkembangan karakter pada penonton, pada kita bila kita tengok bagaimana ibunya berkembang. Dan kita mula mengetahui tentang karakternya dan kenapa dia bermasalah dan sebagainya. Saya suka cara dia reveal lah, kan. Sama juga dengan Peggy. Tapi Peggy masa awal-awal tu, anaknya dan remaja tu, masa awal-awal tu karakter macam agak deep. Tapi bila dah sampai penghujung filem ni, dia jadi macam totally shallow, totally pretentious dan totally macam just gloss over je dia punya masalah. Bagi saya lah. kan bila dia dapat tahu macam dia jealous kan sama mak dia macam ada boyfriend baru kan. So macam tiba-tiba dia jadi macam daripada bijak pandai, nampak macam ada personality, tiba-tiba tak ada personality. Itu je lah bagi saya yang bagus tentang filem ni. Selain daripada tu macam dia agak average lah, dan ada karakter plotnya yang tiba-tiba hilang je karakter tu. Macam ada this old uncle daripada yang kerja, yang ada kedai ubat Cina kan. Mula dia karakter yang agak prominent, tiba-tiba halfway through the movie dia hilang. Dia tak ada dah.
Maybe Jehan Miskin kidnapped him.
Nah, Jehan Miskin is a cameo. I haven't seen Jehan Miskin in a film in a long time.
No lah, we saw him in something recently.
Is it? I don't remember
Not
lah.
recently lah, but
Tapi tiba-tiba kita lihat Jehan Miskin ada guest appearance, so okay lah. Okay.
So I really liked that the issue of the film was about trauma. And the kind of trauma that they brought up was not sort of like a typical trauma. It was about rape. And it's not really something that is brought up a lot. Oh, whoops. I just spoiled the plot for you. Too bad.
It's okay.
Anyway. So
actually, bila kamu tengok filem tu pun dah boleh tahu dah.
So anyway, the trauma is about rape. And it's about how rape victims don't really get over their trauma. And it's also about the consequence of what happens when someone is raped. It brought up almost everything lah, like the stigma, and the choice that she made, I thought was a really brave one in the film. That's one. So the premise of it was actually really interesting because not only did it sort of explore rape, it also subtly explored racism, because I guess the consensus or the stereotype is that Chinese people really favor people who are more light skin.
Kulit cerah
so when
sikit.
you have a child who is clearly brown, in a darker shade of brown, she is not as accepted as any other kid lah, basically. So it was really showing the kind of racism that she had to face as a kid who was, even though raised culturally Chinese, was still outwardly brown. But I could sort of relate with that because I'm both. I'm Malay and Chinese, but I was more dominantly raised Chinese because my mother has 7 siblings and we see them all the time, and my father is an only child, and my maternal grandmother didn't really spend a lot of time with us. Paternal grandmother didn't really spend a lot of time with us when I was growing up. So most of the things about my upbringing were actually very Chinese. And that's why I can also speak Cantonese. So growing up, it was very difficult for me because I sort of identified as a Chinese person.
But you don't look Chinese.
But I don't look Chinese. And
Okay.
yeah,
It's not an interruption. Tapi ini benda yang special. Okay?
Sebab interrupts me.
No,
Anyway.
sebab masa pertama kali saya jumpa Cheryl, kan, saya tengok muka Melayu. Tiba-tiba saya dengar dia cakap Cantonese. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, anyway. I really like that. That was it was very interesting for me. Please, continue. Sila teruskan dengan ulasan anda.
Yeah. So I could relate to that in the character, and it's very rare that I see myself represented that way on screen, because everything that talks about interracial relationships is always so template. Boy meets girl, boy falls in love with girl, boy's mother say cannot, girl's mother say cannot, whatever, or they already end up together, and they're navigating through the waters of an interracial relationship, whatever lah. Okay, it's done, it's been said. But to see something like this was very original and very new, and I really appreciated the representation, and I really appreciated that these two huge, really heavy issues were being represented in this film that was actually kind of casual and subtle. Even though they were the main running themes of the film, it was not shoved upon me like it would have been in a typical template propaganda film about everybody hold hands and be multiracial together.
Yep.
It was not like that. That was really good. So the core of it, I felt, was a great film, but then the execution fell flat a little bit.
Betul, saya setuju.
Yeah. So number one, like you said, the characters were inconsistent. There were characters that started off so prominent and then just died off, and then there was a guy who sort of came in and then slowly developed, but he was in and out. So sometimes he was there and then sometimes he was not there. the only two people that were really truly consistent throughout the whole film was the mother-daughter pairing lah. Which okay, I understand that they are the main characters, but your supporting characters also have to develop along with your main characters. If not, the film is a little bit disconnected lah. And leading into that disconnection was the fact that the treatment of the film itself was a little bit disconnected. Suddenly there's a scene of her having a seizure, and then suddenly it's a flashback of something we don't really understand, and then suddenly she's meeting her mother, and then suddenly it cuts back to the girl at a singing competition, and then suddenly it's something else, and then it's all like kind of sewn together in a it makes sense but not really kind of way. So it could have actually been much tighter technically in that way lah, in that sense. I guess the continuity of the not to say the plot lah, because the plot was there, but the continuity of the scenes and the transitions of the scenes could have been executed a little bit better. I didn't really have a problem with the acting because I felt like the chemistry between the two key main characters was present and was there. They seemed really naturally quite close to each other. They really did seem like a sort of mother-daughter team lah, and this is also obviously a stereotype, and I blame myself for it. You would not have expected lah, actually.
Right.
So, in that sense, the acting was kind of, okay, not bad to me. So, I don't really, I do not like the film, but it was, admittedly a little bit slow, and I did have to like make an effort to like follow it lah. But it was not as painful as some of the other things that we have seen.
Betul. Dia taklah rasa macam seksa nak tengok. Tapi bosan. Halfway through I dah rasa bosan dah.
A little bit, because it's a bit slow.
Dan betul. Memang macam saya cakap tadi, seperti Cheryl cakap juga kan, premis ceritanya dah bagus. Execution lah tak ni. Dan saya agak gembira untuk dengar yang Cheryl dapat rasa macam representasi tu ada dalam filem macam ni. Sebelum ni tak ada kan.
Yes. I've never represented.
Kalau kita tengok kat Malaysia ni, selalunya kalau kita nak cerita pasal multiracial atau multiculturalism adalah kaum-kaum lain assimilate dengan kaum Melayu dan agama Islam. Tapi tak pernah sebaliknya kan. So ini adalah satu yang agak berbeza, dan saya harap lebih banyak lagi filem yang macam ni lah yang keluar.
Or it's film like The Journey, where it's a white man assimilating to the culture.
Then
Guys,
it's like,
I'm not here for that.
We managed to convince orang putih. So that one also I don't like. Now, with that being said, it has got me to feel like sekarang saya rasa saya nak tengok diri saya pula ada representation dalam filem. Sebab diri saya ni, okay, saya pun macam Cheryl juga campur-campur, tapi saya tak ada predominant Melayu ke predominant Cina ke, dia macam semua pun ada. And then macam family saya yang Cina dengan yang Melayu semua bercampur, dan saya identify sebagai Melayu dan saya identify sebagai Cina juga. Dan it's such a balance. Dan itu lagilah tak ada kat Malaysia. Kalau nak tunjuk macam tu, entah apa jadilah nanti.
You have to make your own film.
Our political parties dekat Malaysia ni akan Okay. So macam mana? Adakah kita akan recommend untuk orang tengok filem ni?
Well, by the time you see this, the film will be gone from MIFF already.
Tapi saya rasa filem ni mesti ada akan berada di platform-platform
follow
lain
it
lah.
on its platforms and stock the film if you want to watch it. If it does come out, or maybe if it does get put up on Mubi as a film, you should absolutely watch it and then judge for yourself, because you might not have a problem with the treatment and the style of the film.
Mungkin filem seterusnya kami akan mengulas tentang filem yang dalam festival ni juga selepas ini kan. Sebab kami nak tengok KLGU, kami nak ulas KLGU juga, tapi nak tengok semua dulu. Nak habiskan semua, nak binge watch bahasa Malaysia cakap apa? Binge watch dalam bahasa Malaysia cakap apa?
I don't know.
Entahlah, tuntun sampai muak. Okay, so bagi pandangan, adakah cara kami mengulas filem buat cara macam ni bagus ke tidak? Seorang cakap Melayu, seorang cakap Mak Saleh. Kan? Macam mana? Speaking the England. Wah, seorang cakap Melayu, seorang cakap speaking the England. Zaf vlog macam mana? Nanti kalau kita dah mula mengulas dalam bahasa Malaysia, Zaf vlog habis lah. Berpuluh-puluh ribu views nanti jatuh lah semua datang Fat Bidin Film Club.
We're not here to fight you, okay?
No, of course.
This is not a fight.
Zaf knows that we are not fighting him because we, okay.
Just in case. You never know nowadays.
No, okay, but anyway, Happy New Year, Zaf. Ni apa hal ni tiba-tiba banyak streaming gaming ni ya?
There's no films to watch.
Agaknya lah kan. Okay, so that's it. Anda kalau nak tinggalkan komen ataupun ada suggestion untuk bagi kami, untuk bagi saya untuk naikkan semangat untuk tengok filem balik semula, sila komen di bawah. Kalau ada filem-filem apa yang lain yang baru ke ataupun yang lama yang nak kami ulas, bagi tahu. Kan? Komen. Ikuti kami di semua platform medsos, sosmed, social media kami,
social
@fatbidin ataupun layari fatbidin.com untuk dapatkan segala-gala konten daripada kami.
Yes.
Okay, anda sedang menonton dan mendengar Fat Bidin Film Club. Saya anggap diri saya Zan Azli
dan saya Syah Ustawan.